No more infectious disease. Infection refers to the disease pathogens that invade the tissues of organisms and begin to reproduce, as well as the response of the host tissues to these pathogens and the production of toxins by the pathogens. Infectious disease, also called transmissible disease, or communicable disease, is a disease caused by infection. Infections can be caused by a variety of pathogens, most notably pathogenic bacteria and viruses, but there are also less common types. The host can fight the infection through its own immune system. The mammalian host responds to infection using the innate immune system, often with inflammation, followed by the development of acquired immunity. Medications used to treat infections include antibiotics, antivirals, antifungals, antiprotozoals, and anthelmintics. Infectious diseases killed 9.2 million people worldwide in 2013, approximately 17% of all deaths. The branch of medicine that focuses on infections is called infectious diseases. Pathogens that cause infection include pathogenic bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Staphylococcus aureus, Escherichia coli, Clostridium botulinum, Salmonella, etc. Viruses, and related pathogens such as viroids, human immunodeficiency virus, rhinovirus, Lissa viruses such as Lissavirus, Ebola virus, and severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. Fungi, further subdivided into Ascomycota, which includes yeasts e.g., Candida spp, filamentous fungi e.g., Pneumocystis spp, and dermatophytosis, a group of organisms that cause infections of the skin and other surface tissues in humans. Basidiomycota, including the genus Cryptococcus that causes infections in humans. Prions do not release toxins themselves. Subclinical infection versus clinical infection, latent versus obvious. When the infection is symptomatic, it is called obvious, clinical, symptoms, and when the infection is active but does not produce obvious symptoms, it can be called inapparent infection. Expressions include inapparent, silent, subclinical, or occult. Infections that are inactive or dormant are called latent infections. An example of a latent bacterial infection is latent tuberculosis. There are different terms for infection. The first is acute infection. An acute infection is a rapidly developing symptom that can be either rapid or prolonged. Next comes chronic infection. A chronic infection is one in which symptoms develop gradually over weeks or months and are not easily treated. Subacute infections take longer to develop than acute infections, but they develop faster than chronic infections. Latent infection may exist after an acute episode. The pathogen is present but no symptoms occur. The disease reappears after a period of time. The definition of focal infection is that the pathogen starts from the initial site of infection and spreads to other parts of the body through the blood, causing the disease. Infectious diseases are usually spread through direct person-to-person contact or droplet spread. Indirect contact, such as through the air, contaminated objects, food and drinking water, contact between humans and animals, animal hosts, insect bites, and natural hosts, are alternative ways of disease transmission. Infections can be classified according to the site or organ system affected: urinary tract infection, skin infection, respiratory tract infection, odontogenic infection, vaginal infection, chorioamnionitis, infection of the chorioamnion membrane. In addition, common parts of the human body that are inflamed include pneumonia in the lungs, meningitis in the brain, and salpingitis in the fallopian tubes.